What's going on today, guys? So, as the title says, I'm going to be fixing my retrofit taillights today. And these kind of just made me think a little bit. I've always wanted a set of these taillights, and I've had them for a while now. But like a long time ago, I always saw them and I was like, man, those are so sick. I don't know if I'll ever be able to afford them though, because I'd look them up if I could even find them. They're like $2,000, and I was like, man, I'll never get a set of those. There's no way I'm ever gonna spend that much. I don't have that money. I can't do that. And it just made me think it's hard to be in the moment and foresee or trust in things working out or getting what you want. I just thought I would mention that it doesn't have to be car related, but just anything in life that you think might be hard, oh, I want a house, but I don't know how I'm ever gonna make that kind of money. It's hard to be oh, I'm gonna do it, but just stick to it, believe in the process, and you never know when something that you want might just come about. And I know it's silly, it's like a car part, but it's just, it doesn't have to be that. It can be anything in life, but just trust and believe and keep working on what you need to, and just keep after it. And you just never know what might happen. So I just thought I'd say that, because just kind of put me in that mindset of just trusting in the process. So I'm gonna show you guys what's going on with the taillights, and we'll get into what's going on with them. So this is what it's supposed to look like, and this is what it looks like. So it seems a little bit sketchy. A lot of people do this different ways. So the way that I'm gonna be doing it is that we have to obviously maybe not obviously, so there's not really any way to access it in my taillight. I don't know if all of them are like that, but as you can tell, the wiring goes through inside there. So basically how it happens is we have to take the lens off first, and then there's these two screws. Hopefully you can see that. These two screws that actually hold this is a separate piece. These three strips are a separate piece inside there. So that actually pops out, and that will allow us to get to the wiring that we need. So like I said, it's a little bit sketchy, but I'm just gonna heat up. You can see where there's this goo in these tabs. That's what actually holds the lens on. So I'm using my heat gun. I'm gonna just heat up around the edges. You gotta be patient. Some of these, you can see the groove is on the inside of this, so I'll heat up in here and just take my time and slowly just pull this lens off. So I'll get to doing that right now. So I went pretty spread out. You don't want to put too much heat in one spot, because this is obviously all plastic. You don't want to melt anything. So I'm trying to be careful, because this stuff is really stringy. I don't want to get anything glued up or get any of this stuff on the lens itself. So just, being careful and slowly peeling the lens off. And that popping is actually just the glue. It's not the plastic snapping or anything like that. So I think, ooh, okay. Got a little bit on the inside there, but it's pretty forgiving. So it kind of just stays in the groove, and you can just reuse it. And definitely just try and keep it contained in this, because it'll pick up a lot of different stuff. Once it cools off, it's not as sticky, so it's kind of it's like reusable almost. If you reheat it, you can stick it back in there. So the way that I have been doing it, because this isn't the first time that I've had to do this, I just reheat this and stick it back on, because there's still a good amount of glue on both sides of the actual lens and the tail light itself. So I just definitely keep this off to the side and try not to get the inside of the lens dirty, because once you put it on there, you don't want to have to take it back off. So we've got this part now, and I actually have to go get a screwdriver real quick. All right, so I'm gonna take this screw out, and like I said, I know not all tail lights are gonna be the same, but it still might give you a frame of reference. And a lot of times when I do certain videos, some people will say that they want me to include certain details. So I just want to show you guys how this one works. As you can see, it fell out, and I'm not super like hyped about the way that they installed it. I just kind of did the same thing, but I used some vinyl because it seemed to look a little bit better than this. But these are also like finicky. I didn't really want to take all this off, but I think I am, just to show you guys how this stuff works. So they definitely look fancy from the outside, but they're no showpiece on the inside, that's for sure. But just so you can see how it works. So the reason why all these are broken up is to get the curve out of the lights, because if you know LED strips, they normally come in just like straight patterns, and a lot of them aren't flexible. So these ones you can actually cut on the joints right there, or whatever you want to call them, the connections, and you can you know, like reattach them or whatever. So the issue that I'm having here is this. Apparently this connection right here is like messed up, because it's only getting power up to there, or from here to there, and it's done. So I have to figure out what the heck's going on with it. I'm gonna try to kind of cheat it, and I think the signal wire is fine, but the actual power wire is not working properly. So I think what I'm gonna do is take a wire and go from this power to here, because I'm pretty sure it's the power connection. So yeah, it's literally, you can't really see it, but the power connection is separated right there. So it's not actually making contact, and that's why that light keeps going off. I'll see if I can get closer and show you guys. Alright guys, I know it's kind of hard to tell, but it's this one right here. It's separated from this strip. So it's good here, but it's not good there. So I'm going to attempt to resolder this one just to see if it will work, but I'm also going to do what I said and connect a wire from this power to that power. So theoretically, that should make everything get power. It's at least going to transfer the power to here, so they should all work. But then the data wire is still connected right here, so it will still make the tail light function properly. That's the theory, at least. Okay, forgive my filming here. I've just got my handy dandy solder gun. Just going to try and melt this one back into place. Oh. And hope that it actually stays connected this time. I've done this this is my third time, so I'm getting tired of having to do this. So I think I've got that one reconnected. I'm sorry, the focus is not in. I think I've got it connected. I'm not gonna mess with it too much. I'm just gonna worry more about the power wire going from each end here, because I know those connections are decent at least. Okay guys, as you can see, I did that connection again, but we have solid connections on both ends here. I left it a little bit long just because, but sorry for the filming. I'm not trying to shake you guys, but that's not moving. That's not moving. We should be fine and dandy, but before I put this all back together and put the lens back on, I'm going to take it out and plug it in and make sure it's all good. Wiggle the wires around and just test her out. So it looks like we're back. So I think I trust that connection now. I can try, let's see. Pushing on it, wiggling it around a little bit. Sounds like, or looks like we're all good then. Okay, time to put the lens back on and should be good to go, thank goodness. Now just to reverse our steps, put the screws back in and should be good to go. This has been such a hassle. Like it's one of those things too with these taillights. I traded parts for them and some money, so like I didn't really pay a whole bunch for them. And then plus I like traded parts I wasn't gonna use anyway. So it was a pretty good deal for me. But either way, you know, these things were newly built when I got them, and you wouldn't want to have issues with a brand new piece. But at the same time, it's actually taught me a lot about how these things work. And you know, I think there's like a stigma that these are really complicated and they're hard to build and everything. But seeing how simple the wiring is, and if you get the right app, like the app that I use, it's Ghost Lighting, and the controller, you literally just have to get these all, or like get the taillights built, and then you just run the wiring, and it's literally just a straight line, you know, of LEDs as far as the connection goes, and you literally set everything up on the app. So these have been a hassle, but it's taught me a lot about how these things work. So if I really wanted to, I could just completely rewire these with new LEDs and just set them up on the app and I'd be good. But anyway, I'm gonna go ahead and reheat this groove up. And obviously if you were to get anything in the taillight, you'd want to clean it up, but luckily I did not. So I'm just going to heat this guy back up, heat up the glue around the lens and put it back in, and we'll be ready to go. I'm not even 100% sure if you have to reheat this, but I definitely like to soften it up. That way it gives a really good seal, because you definitely do not want to do all this and then get freaking condensation inside of your lenses. So definitely try and reseal them the best you can. And a little bit of heat definitely helps with that. You might be able to see it kind of moves a little bit with the heat. And that's not only obviously the actual air moving it, but it's actually melting it down a little bit as well. So it just makes it a little bit softer, a little bit more malleable. So gives you a good seal. Hold it by the very outside so I don't put any fingerprints on the inside of the lens. Line her up and squish her in, and I'm going to just keep some pressure on it once I get it all the way in. Ooh, there we go. It's like, wait, it's not going in. What's going on? Yeah, there we go. Definitely tell that it's pretty warm, so that makes me feel good, and knowing that we're probably getting a good seal on it. And if you ever have issues with condensation in your headlights or taillights, you don't necessarily have to take the lenses off, but you can probably heat up around the edges and just kind of put some pressure on them, and it might, you know, kind of expand the sealant and maybe give you a better seal. So just a little possible hack. I'm not saying it works for sure, but I've definitely done it with these, because they used to get condensation in them, and after I did this, they did not. So there we have it. She's all sealed up again, and I'm pretty stoked. I think she's finally fixed for good. All right, so there we have it. I'm not gonna put the taillight back in the car like on video, because you guys already know what they do and everything. So yeah, all good now, I assume. It seemed like it was all good. I wiggled a lot of the, you know, the housing, the wires, the strips, and nothing bugged out at all. We're all sealed up again, obviously. And sorry, I know it was a lot of talking, but I can't help but, you know, say everything that I'm doing, because you never know when somebody might figure something out just from watching and, you know, me saying what I'm doing. I know I'm not like, you know, big, like there's a lot of YouTubers out there, obviously, but sometimes you watch videos and to like see how to do something, and if it's not explained, you still don't really know what to do. Like they might show you, but if you don't actually hear what was being done, then you might not understand. Like a lot of people use the YouTube magic, and they go, you know, they snap and then it's done. They don't actually show the process of it, you know, happening. It's just like the before and then after. So I just like to really show everything if I can, just in case somebody needs to see that to understand what's going on. And I know it makes the videos kind of boring sometimes, but if you don't say it, nobody will ever hear it. So I just like doing that. But I appreciate everybody that's watching and has continued to watch. Still been getting more subs, which is cool. I'm trying to keep posting, obviously. But yeah, I hope you guys have a good night. As always, if you want to leave a like and subscribe, comment, whatever, greatly appreciated. And I will see you in the next one.